It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Banksters, gun-grabbing politicians, and the mudstream media have decimated over 250 years of our prosperity, which has been built by our blood, sweat, and tears. It's time to fix what's broken in America. It's time for the People's Revolution to fire both political parties and restore the one set of laws which made us the greatest country on earth, the U.S. Constitution. Live from the Overthrow Bunker in FEMA Region 9 in Southern California, I'm your host, Pete Santilli, and you're listening to The Pete Santilli Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pete Santilli Show. The commentary you're about to hear is based on truth and fact and is meant to be used as an educational tool to fight the New World Order, the global elite, and their eugenics agenda. Any characterization made by Mr. Santilli about any person, living or dead, is solely the opinion of Mr. Santilli. Also be advised that the following commentary may have adult content, so parental discretion is strongly advised. So go grab your chips and your Diet Coke and get ready for Pete Santilli. Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Well, good Sunday afternoon to each and every one of you. Today is Sunday, July 22nd, in the year of our Lord 2012, and this is episode number 176. And, pardon me? Okay. Yeah, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that feedback. Actually, somebody just mentioned something very important in my ear about the sound of my voice, so I can certainly change that. So thank you. Well, each and every day, each and every episode of the Pete Santilli Show is broadcast live daily at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Second Life Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern. And recorded iTunes podcasts can be automatically downloaded at www.thepetesantillyshow.com. Now, if you go to thepetesantillyshow.com during any one of our live broadcasts, you can actually click at the top, find one of those media players, and actually you will be able to listen to the live broadcast through the pop-out that allows you to listen. And also you can listen to the rebroadcast in between shows, because we will take this recorded show and put it up on the stream. You can listen to it 24/7. And, of course, I want to welcome each and every listener, new listeners especially, that reach our program through Before It's News. We literally have tens of thousands of people coming from over there. No exaggeration. Take a look at my profile on Before It's News, and you'll see that each and every episode is approaching almost 1,000, and we've been posting those for many, many days. And YouTube also, people are searching for stuff related to the topics that we discuss and the way we're putting our keywords in YouTube. So welcome all to YouTube listeners. Now, Before It's News, it's really important, especially this episode. This is what I really need you to do, and this is why. I need you to comment, and YouTube, do the same. Comment, like, even if you dislike. I mean, I get some dislikes, but those are the Barack Obama people that come in, and you're just so overly brainwashed. Just go ahead and click the dislike button so I can identify you and separate you and possibly delete you if I have a way to do that. But that's okay. You're entitled to do that. Just move along. Don't come here if you like Barack Obama. I need you to comment. When you do that, it actually connects with your followers, your people, and we spread this message of liberty, of freedom, of constitutionality. We need to share this, and we need to do it from the grassroots, from our level. It's people power. Essentially, when you do that, you communicate this thing, and it reaches many, many more people. You definitely want to do that for this show today. I have Mr. David Vanderbeek on the line. He's a former, he's a current, I said former. He's a current candidate for U.S. Senate out of the state of Nevada. He's going to be joining me. On 7/11, he made a general prediction, and it referenced the movie, The Batman, The Dark Knight. And you're going to hear those words, and when we come back, he's going to be commenting on the Batman massacre that just recently hit the news. So don't you dare go away.
Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, July 20th, 2012. Gold opened this morning at $1578.90. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1618.64, $809.32 for a half ounce, or $404.66 for a quarter ounce. That's $1618.64, $809.32, and $404.66.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about gold. 800-686-2237. The book is free, 800-686-2237.
The Pete Santilli Show, telling you the truth whether you like it or not.
About to incite a riot. Make some noise, break up the silence. Scream and shout, no being quiet. Spread the facts until you buy it. Come to my den, I got toys for torture. We drink the blood.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join us for the live chat, just recently installed. I had Tiny Chat going for a while there, and we had a lot of activity and a lot of incendiary remarks. It just got too distracting. Everybody was going off topic, yelling at each other, and I just shut down Tiny Chat. But now I have the Pete Santilli Show Tiny Chat room embedded right in the page. So I have it open right now. If you want to comment, if I glance at it and I catch your comment, I'll certainly reference it on air. But you can go to the PeteSantilliShow.com, click on the live show chat button at the top. And I'm logged in right now. Susanna Cole's over there. She's not going to be joining me today. Today's her day off. We have a couple guests who have joined us. And guest number 591-5930 just entered, so that's great. If you're listening to the live broadcast, you can chat with me live while I'm online, and I will address any questions directly. And this coming week, I'm going to be opening up the telephone lines. But listen, for today, this is what we're going to do. I need to, before I bring Mr. Vanderbeek on the line and we discuss the issues that we were talking about on July 11th, and Mr. Vanderbeek is actually going to be joining us on a regular basis on the show. But before I bring that up, I wanted to bring him on because of current events. This is important information we need to relay. After that segment, he's going to be on for 30 minutes, and if we have to extend it just a little bit, we'll certainly do that into the next segment. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, I need your help. I need you to copy, replicate, and send out this episode. You need to be prepared to do this. If you need to take an audio recording and do it, if you need to record the video for YouTube, you have my permission to take that recording, replicate it, copy it, put it on your server, and keep it, because what you're about to hear are calls that I made today to the U.S. Secret Service and to the FBI. And when you hear the results of those conversations, number one, it wasn't intended to be comical, but it actually turned out to be comical. But number two, you're going to be very disappointed at what the responses are as to what they're investigating. Now, I obviously have tremendous concern about retaliation by them. I'm going to end up on a list. We'll make some commentary about that. But I need your help in spreading this particular episode especially, and I'm going to need your help by making some telephone calls. You'll know what I mean later. Now, without any more delays, I'm going to bring Mr. Vanderbeek on the line. David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great. Thanks for joining me. We were going to push you to Friday, and by the way, thank you very much for joining our team and making yourself available to come on a regular basis to talk about New World Order issues and all the other issues that are really important. I always get great feedback on your episodes. Always. People love you.
It's an honor to be with you. I mean, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, and we respect your opinion. We love the work that you're doing in social media. Now, as you recall, on the 11th, on July 11th, you came on the program, and we had a discussion about New World Order, a little bit about religion, and we had a broad range of topics. And one comment that you made in particular, you kind of stepped out and you said, "Look, there's some foreshadowing in a movie that's about to be released," and you actually flat out called a prediction. And I wouldn't necessarily say that you're a prophet per se. You're very analytical, in that you can detect by their patterns and the way they operate in these false flag attacks, as well as the usage of the media, right? That they're going to do certain things based on the signs that they present before they actually happen. Now, I'm gonna play this little clip here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this.
Events before they happen. So what I did is I started looking for movies where there's an NFL false flag terrorist attack. I couldn't find one. I found one for London for a soccer game called Incendiary. It's done in 2008. So I talked about, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but there is a movie that has not come out yet that will have an NFL false flag terrorist attack in it. You know what movie it is?
No.
Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, really? Batman?
Batman is full of New World Order programming propaganda, from the using the cell phones to track everybody, to demonizing a Joker for making his own clothes, the Dark Knight, to demonizing people who want to stand up for their own rights and have vigilante justice. But it's got an NFL false flag terrorist attack in it, and you will all see it this summer. And I said that back in December that is a strong possibility because football season coincides with the elections.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Now, Mr. Vanderbeek, are you there?
I'm here.
Now, okay. Now, everybody, this is Mr. Vanderbeek's live voice. So, listen, you already know what has happened with that event. They're calling it the Batman massacre. It's a tragic event. I'm going to give you the floor, and I want you to give us your analysis again of what's occurred, and if you still think that the foreshadowing in that movie is still could possibly take place.
Well, I think the first thing that I would say is that it's sickening that the event occurred. I think it's sickening to see the violence associated with the film. Obviously those families went there to enjoy a movie, and those actors participated in that movie for their careers. So, what I did is I predicted, and I would say this movie, Dark Knight Rises, right? This was a movie that seemed to have an association with mind programming or preparing. So what the powers that be are going to do are going to foreshadow events. Now, I don't know how they used this particular movie with this particular individual. What I would say to people is, before you jump on any bandwagon, to understand. I work in therapy, and so when something tragic happens, people are in a rush to understand, as though that's going to help heal them. Those are two different processes. Understanding something doesn't necessarily help us to heal from it. I mean, you can understand something and not feel any better about it. Or the other way around. You can heal from something and never understand it. You can have a great operation from a doctor, not have a first clue of what he did, but feel much better. Or you take medicine, you feel better. So understanding and healing are two different processes. This event, so I want you to be aware of that, so that as you look at, don't be in a hurry to understand this. I had no idea how they were going to use this movie, but what we see here, for one thing, is this is another nut lone gunman, right? So immediately you had the event, and immediately, as I said, in false flag terrorism, they beat you down with the violence, and then they institute or initiate the narrative. In other words, they're going to tell you how to understand the event. So you have the event, and then they tell you what to think of it. They tell you what to interpret of it. So you get these pictures, right? You go on Drudge Report, and the first thing you see is this guy with this whacked-out hairdo, orange hair, going in every direction. And it's some adult site with some girl sitting behind him, or whatever. I don't know. That's the photo that I first saw this guy. Right. Did you see that photo?
I did. And you know what else was remarkable is within 24 hours, there was a concerted, and I really didn't even think false flag at first. I just thought it was a crazed gunman. but within 24 hours. I mean, they had full-blown MSNBC or NBC productions. They were talking to the parents. They were talking to everybody. I mean, they were on this thing telling the story within 24 hours. They had the whole thing laid out for everybody to understand.
Yeah, and the question, it's a fair question, why? Why would they rush to understand something? Yep. I think that is a cultural phenomenon. That is not necessarily a conspiracy because they're all trying to figure it out. But the conspiracy is if the mainstream media is not willing to ask all the questions and they already have a pre-rollout of a story.
Well, David,
so
since I ate up half of the first segment, we're probably going to have to stay over one additional 10-minute segment. Are you willing to do that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Listen, when we come back after this break, we're going to talk more. We're talking to David Vanderbeek. He is a future U.S. Senator out of Nevada. And what a great citizen, a great patriot. And he's a constitutionalist. He'll be coming back to talk about his remarks, the event, and what we should be doing to understand this whole thing. Don't go away.
Get your credit repaired today at greatcreditnow.com. We'll help remove bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and late payments from your credit reports.
Great Credit Now was phenomenal. I was able to reestablish my credit. I even bought a brand new car. Thanks, Great Credit Now.
Great Credit Now helps some of our customers lower their interest rates and save money.
Save time and save money and get approved for the new car or home you want without crazy interest rates or high payments. Call now for your free credit consultation. 800-258-0653.
As a watch collector for many years, I can tell you the difference in price and value between a Swiss or a Japanese movement timepiece. And I can also tell you without any hesitation that World of Watches has the biggest selection, and for a limited time, the listeners of the Pete Santilli Show can take advantage of the lowest prices, the biggest discounts, and the largest selection of watches available anywhere on the internet. This exclusive promotion is called the Time Bomb, and time's ticking. So visit thePeteSantilliShow.com/Time Bomb before time runs out.
The most important question to be asked in our lifetime is answered in the book, Where's the Birth Certificate? A case that Barack Obama is not eligible to be the president, written by Jerome Corsi. Where's the Birth Certificate is a recommended read by Peter Santilli, host of The Pete Santilli Show, and is sold on Amazon.com. To purchase your copy of Where's the Birth Certificate, go to thePeteSantilliShow.com, click on the tab at the top that says Where's the Birth Certificate, and order your copy today or download it to your Kindle. Where's the Birth Certificate by Jerome Corsi is essential to the Infowar and a question we should all be asking. If you've been asking yourself where's the birth certificate and what will it mean if Barack Obama is not eligible to be president, go to thePeteSantilliShow.com, click on the Where's the Birth Certificate tab at the top of the page, and order your copy from Amazon.com today. One great thing about having Barnes & Noble as a sponsor of the Pete Santilli Show is that we love Barnes & Noble. If you visit thePeteSantilliShow.com, you'll see several ads displaying the new Note color for the very special price of $169. If you've noticed the latest craze in ebooks, everyone's carrying their favorite brand and immersed in the internet's newest revolutionary technology, the tablet e-reader. The Pete Santilli Show is proud to offer our listeners the new Nook, and we're also excited to offer what some are calling the best in the tablet world. What's more is that the new Nook Simple Touch Glow Light, Nook Color, and Nook Tablet range in the price of $199 to as little as $99. The Nook Tablet Reader from BarnesandNoble.com. Portable and definitely affordable. Visit thePeteSantilliShow.com today and click on any of the Barnes & Noble ads to find the Nook that's right for you.
Hi folks, Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside the bunker at FEMA Region 9 is your host, Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. You're listening to The Pete Santilli Show, and I have joining me today future U.S. Senator Mr. David Vanderbeek. We're talking about his appearance that he made, and he will be appearing regularly on the Pete Santilli Show. But his appearance was on 7/11 at the 6 o'clock show. We talked about all kinds of topics, and I just played his comments. But David,
hey,
how are
Peter,
you? Yeah.
Did you guys read the next day? It was the very next day after that show. Did you see the story about the guard in the motorcade that threatened to shoot Mrs. Obama?
I did. That's right.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to point that out because that was one of the scenarios I talked about.
I did. That's right. False flag attacks against, we talk about the racial implications behind that. I mean, and ladies and gentlemen, we are not in the business of foreshadowing events. We're not in the business of, painting a picture of doom and gloom. We're in the business of analytically looking at how they've done things in the past and then come to find out it was a false flag event. And you look back at the circumstances around it, and there's a pattern. They do the same thing over and over again, don't they, Dave?
Yeah. I wanted people to look up that. I mean, the one we talked about, 7/11, remember that one of them was the first family. I did a video on that there's a potential for a first family false flag attack. Mm-hmm. The Dark Knight was another one we talked about. We didn't talk about the lone nut gunman scenario because, I mean, do we need to talk about that again? It's not like we needed to reintroduce that lone nut gunman is just a common theme and the question, you first have to ask is, okay, how can they be so sure that he worked alone? Why? Why alone? Why is that? Is that a necessary conclusion from the outset?
Let me ask you this: where do you think an unemployed college dropout with no money is going to get? I would estimate maybe $18,000 to $25,000 in gear, plus all of his materials as far as the explosives that were found to pull off an attack like this.
I mean, this is exactly the kind of question that needs to be asked.
Right.
Now, you're saying, I mean, the point is that he couldn't have done it alone, right? It's not reasonable.
It's not. And there's also signs as well as we see this thing unravel. Rather than taking a look at the media's interpretation of what happened, take a look at the interviews that were conducted by the gentleman that he sat next to a guy who picked up the phone, walked to the exit door, opened that door, and in comes the gunman shortly thereafter. With the
he did something to the door because you can't kick in those doors.
Right.
First of all, the doors open out.
Right. That's right.
So if the door, you've been to a movie theater, the doors, when you go exit, they open out. They can't close. You can't kick in one of those doors.
No.
Those are so heavy steel doors. So the emergency exit would have had to have been ajar, and that's what was very suspicious. It throws suspicion on the theory that he acted alone. Why is a person talking on a cell phone and then walking over to an exit door and playing with the door?
Yep. David, here's the most important question that I want to discuss with you. So let's say, theoretically, false flag attacks exist, okay? And we want to understand why. And if you look at it, what are the implications? Actually, if they pulled off a false flag event and then capitalized on all the media attention thereafter, and it just so happens to be, the timing of it all is coincidental. But why is it important to understand why they would pull something off like this?
Well, I can think of a couple reasons. One is what you talked with Sheriff Mack about was the UN treaty, the Small Arms Treaty.
That's right. I asked the question I know the answer to, but I want to hear it from your, from
your
perspective.
That they want to get this treaty through that they hadn't had the support for. So if you're going to have some shootings, then you can blame guns for that. The other one, I don't know if you've talked about, you probably have, but they want to have more security in the malls and in the shopping centers, movie theaters, sports stadiums. So these kinds this kind of a terrorist attack lends itself to expanding government security. It lends itself to expanding the police state.
That's right. And I asked the question I already knew the answer to, and we also covered it on the Sheriff Mack show. I wanted to hear from your perspective, but I didn't really overemphasize that one thing. Now, look at what happened with the crotch bomber that was escorted on the plane. What happened shortly thereafter? $1 billion in contracts for magnetometers, not magnetometers, full body scanners. There's too much money.
The body scanners in the airports.
Right, body scanners in the
airports. So now
airports.
you can get groped and body scanned to go see a movie.
Right.
I imagine.
Groping is free, but body scanners are $1 billion. Those are billions of dollars in contracts.
Yeah, it's only your dignity that's at stake. So
yeah.
So that's what I would say. The other thing that's fascinating about this is there's an article. So people can go to that story. Someone let the gunman inside the Colorado theater. There's that one, but then there's another. This one. This is SHTF plan.com. One moviegoer with a gun could have prevented 70 innocent people from being shot.
Wow.
So,
yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine what would have happened if 20 to 30 people in the audience had been armed.
Yeah.
And so the solution, look at the solution. The solution of the government is always to make you more vulnerable. So take people's guns away so they can be more defenseless.
Well, the solution of the Soviet Union was to take away arms, and 20 million people died. Turkey, 1.5 million. Germany, we know what happened to the Jews and some of the Christians with Hitler, right? China, 20 million political dissidents taken out. Guatemala, 100,000 Mayan Indians taken out. So we know what it means when leadership in government wants to take arms away. There's one solution that history has provided to us. One result.
Can I point now? Have you talked? I mean, if you think about this also from this perspective, this other question I have, I just want to throw this in there. If it's dark in a movie theater, how well can people positively ID the shooter?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that James Holmes was even there?
Well,
if you're just going by the news, I mean, did you physically see him there? Who physically saw James Holmes there without a mask on?
How well
can they saw what they saw is they saw somebody come in and start shooting people who had a lot of body gear on and mask, and there was a smoke or grenade in there.
Yeah, how well can you ID somebody with a gas mask?
Anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, we're all watching the news and we're told that it was James Holmes. How do we know that? How have they proven to us that James Holmes was even there?
Well, the narrative that's coming out of the jails, I don't know if you've heard it, but there's reports from prisoners that are being released that that all the other prisoners don't like him and they call him a baby killer. And they said, this guy says that everybody wants to kill him, number one. So that's setting the stage for the possibility of of him being exterminated in jail. Have you heard his voice? No. If he dies before we do, that's a big problem. That's going to leave a lot of questions to be unanswered. So they're also saying that he's on suicide watch. Now, how many people do you find that are so distressed by what they did in killing people who sat on the curb and turned himself in and then go into the jail system and commit suicide? Questions outside of what the media is providing us, questions need to be asked if you seek understanding. Because to fully understand what's happening here, folks, you need to read the writing on the wall. Is it possible that this is a false flag attack? Well, it's possible because Barack Obama right now is on the ground in Air Force One, shaking hands and kissing the survivors for political purposes. I think that gentleman, I won't even call him a gentleman, I think that Maoist communist person is a disgusting human being. I don't need Barack Obama shaking hands with survivors.
Hi folks, Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
Get your credit repaired today at GreatCreditNow.com. We'll help remove bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and late payments from your credit reports.
Great Credit Now was phenomenal. I was able to reestablish my credit. I even bought a brand new car. Thanks, Great Credit Now.
Great Credit Now helps some of our customers lower their interest rates and save money.
Save time and save money and get approved for the new car or home you want without crazy interest rates or high payments. Call now for your free credit consultation. 800-258-0653.
Pittman & Davis is a family-owned company that's been in business for over 80 years, specializing in delivery of fresh fruit, smoked meats, cheeses, pastries, and other scrumptious gift food items.
What's more, Pittman & Davis gift food selections are meticulously prepared to ensure the finest quality possible and made in small batches to be shipped fresh daily.
Pittman & Davis, fresh fruits and gifts since 1926. Visit thePeteSantilliShow.com/gift right now to see their selections.
Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, July 20th, 2012. Gold opened this morning at $1578.90. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1618.64, $809.32 for a half ounce, or $404.66 for a quarter ounce. That's $1618.64, $809.32, and $404.66.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about gold. 800-686-2237. The book is free, 800-686-2237.
Live from the Overthrow Bunker and FEMA Region 9, you're listening to The Pete Santilli Show.
Okay, listen. When Mr. Vanderbeek finishes here in this upcoming segment, you do not want to go away, because what I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do two things to you at the same exact time. It's going to provide this little tornadic thing right near the core of your soul. You're going to be laughing, and you're going to be so pissed off at what I have to present to you. I called the Secret Service, the FBI, and you don't want to miss those calls. I bring back on the line Mr. David Vanderbeek. He is a future U.S. Senator running for U.S. Senate out of the state of Nevada, and he's here to talk about the Batman false flag. I believe it's a false flag. The writing is on the wall. I want to ask lots of questions. Questions remain, but Mr. Vanderbeek, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. So as far as a little bit about myself, just briefly, my name is David Laurie Vanderbeek. I live in the state of Nevada, and I am the constitutional candidate for United States Senate here. So we are the constitutional party, not Republican or Democrat. If you go to Google and you just put in David Laurie, I'll be in the top results. You'll see my name, David Laurie Vanderbeek, and that takes you to the YouTube channel, which will link you to all sorts of information, including the party page with the positions and lots of great information. So that's how people can get in touch with me really easily.
Excellent. And I'm also going to provide links to all of your stuff that we frequent your YouTube page and your all of your social media activity. So I'm going to put that on our episode. But Dave, let me ask you this: do you still anticipate, because of the foreshadowing in the movie? Now you mentioned that the possibility exists that something may occur with the Olympics. Do you still believe that?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've been looking at the headlines, just say if I go to Drudge Report right now, I'll just go right now. You look at what's listed there. There might be some stuff. There was earlier where Israel was saying that they were worried about an attack at the Olympics from Iran. So that they let's see here. Yeah, this is one of the headlines. Israel fears Iran attack at Olympics. Yeah. So London braces. They're just waiting for something. Mossad believes hit squad planning terror attack. So I mean, there's definitely a concern that something's going to happen there. You can look at it either way. You can look at it one of two ways. They're preparing people to accept more of a police state, so getting them in this constant state of terror, which is one thing they can do. Yeah, I mean, they can always have you questioning, right? Because you're traumatized, so you're always hyper-vigilant. And then they could actually pull the trigger at some point. And if they pull the trigger and have the actual false flag, then you accept it because it was just a reality that you were prepared to accept. So absolutely, I'll stay with that. And as I said before, if I'm wrong, wonderful. If I'm right, it'll be sickening. Just like my response, my initial reaction to this shooting by James Holmes allegedly was just a sinking, sickened feeling that they would use this movie in conjunction with a false flag terrorist attack that is used for political purposes. Yeah. You can't rule out anything with these shooters. We need to know what kind of drugs were in his system. We need to know any participation in any scientific work that he's done. Has he been in any treatment? Is there any mind control? Denver, Colorado is, that's where we understand that there's the backup government base right there. Part of it's under the airport, and they've got all those crazy murals in the airport. So it's an interesting. There's lots of strange things about it, but Manchurian candidates are real. Manchurian candidate people can watch the movie and understand that that's real history. MK Ultra is real history, that people have been put under mind control to do things. So I mean, that's declassified. I mean, our CIA has been working on this for a long time to control people, to kill other people.
That's right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our hearts hurt for the victims, for the people that were there. I mean, it's just a horrifying event. Now, picture this. Setting aside whether or not you believe in false flags or not, or you're paying attention to that, let's just take the anguish that we feel as a result of this incident occurring, from the gunman to the people that were sitting in those seats, just trying to enjoy their evening, and then factor in the possibility that it may have been perpetrated for political reasons. It may have been set up. Now, our government, David, it is factually correct that we have implemented false flag attacks for political and military purposes, correct? We don't have enough time to go into all of them, but is that a factual statement?
Yes, it is a fact. I mean, if you look, and I'm happy to sit and talk with anybody about 9/11. I'm happy to do that. If they will sit down and talk. I mean, 9/11 is one that's not declassified yet, but the USS Liberty is. That is declassified. That we had Israel shoot at one of our ships to blame it on Egypt, I want to say. Mm-hmm. So,
Gulf of Tonkin.
Now, one quick thing that I said incorrectly that I didn't. There wasn't another film that has an NFL terrorist attack in it. I was referred to one other one. It was in 2002. It was The Sum of All Fears. That's Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's a good one to watch, because back in that day, and and I want you to be aware of this, that when they had Cheney still as a president, vice president, that's kind of Freudian, but that one is about a nuke going off in an NFL stadium. That was one that had been stolen. That was actually, the plutonium in that was American-made plutonium, or refined. And so that's an interesting, and there were actually stories in 2007 of a nuke going missing here in the United States. They had flown, I don't know if you'll recall, but there was a story about some nuclear warheads being flown to be decommissioned, but they are actually loaded on a B-2 bomber or something to that effect. And there were so many rules that were broken in order for that to happen. And one of the arguments is that out of the 6, actually only 5 arrived. And so that there's this possibility for this nuclear warhead to be out there floating. But the idea of a stolen nuclear warhead coming back to blow up in a football stadium was depicted there as well. So, I mean, the idea of this has been around for a while, but that's just an example. But I just want people to be aware. I don't want you to jump to any conclusions. If somebody killed somebody in your family or wounded them, I would want you to be dedicated to the actual truth. I would want you to question the public officials, question the police, and I would put a call out to all police to contact somebody like Peter. If you see something that is irregular and you want to blow the whistle, I think that they should feel comfortable contacting you so that the truth can be exposed.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, if I was a cop and I saw something that didn't fit with the official story, I would do everything in my power to make sure that didn't get downplayed. And so hopefully there's good people in Colorado that will stick up for the truth, because the only way they can carry out false flags is in areas where they have enough people that are corrupt to cooperate. Yeah. And then they can do this.
I'm going to be
So I would hope that everybody gets involved as much as possible. Have your camera. Everybody can have a cell phone with a camera on it now. Everybody can have good equipment and get it up on YouTube. So we can all participate in the truth.
We can. I'm going to be contacting the attorneys. But David, listen, that's all we have for this segment. I've got a lot of information to cover. Are we going to see you on Friday?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, thank you so much. Now, David Vanderbeek is a candidate for U.S. Senate out of Nevada. He's committed to joining us on a regular basis to cover the issues, particularly related to the New World Order, false flag attacks. The Olympics are coming up. David, thanks for joining us in this special edition of the Pete Santilli's coverage of the Batman Massacre. Thank you, and we'll see you on Friday. Okay, Dave? All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. When we come back, I don't know what to say about this. It's going to be shocking.
Get your credit repaired today at greatcreditnow.com. We'll help remove bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and late payments from your credit reports.
Great Credit Now was phenomenal. I was able to reestablish my credit. I even bought a brand new car. Thanks, Great Credit Now.
Great Credit Now helps some of our customers lower their interest rates and save money.
Save time and save money, and get approved for the new car or home you want without crazy interest rates or high payments. Call now for your free credit consultation, 800-258-0653.
Pittman & Davis is a family-owned company that's been in business for over 80 years, specializing in delivery of fresh fruit, smoked meats, cheeses, pastries, and other scrumptious gift food items.
What's more, Pittman & Davis gift food selections are meticulously prepared to assure the finest quality possible and made in small batches to be shipped fresh daily.
Pittman & Davis, fresh fruits and gifts since 1926. Visit thePeteSantilliShow.com/gift right now to see their selections.
One great thing about having Barnes & Noble as a sponsor of the Pete Santilli Show is that we love Barnes & Noble. If you visit thePeteSantilliShow.com, you'll see several ads displaying the new Nook color for the very special price of $169. If you've noticed the latest craze in ebooks, everyone's carrying their favorite brand and immersed in the internet's newest revolutionary technology, the tablet e-reader. The Pete Santilli Show is proud to offer our listeners the new Nook, and we're also excited to offer what some are calling the best in the tablet world. What's more, is that the new Nook Simple Touch Glow Light, Nook Color, and Nook Tablet range in the price of $199 to as little as $99. The Nook Tablet Reader from BarnesandNoble.com. Portable and definitely affordable. Visit thePeteSantilliShow.com today and click on any of the Barnes & Noble ads to find the Nook that's right for you.
Good day, Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, July 17th, 2012. Gold opened this morning at $1593.50. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1633.53, $816.77 for a half-ounce, or $408.38 for a quarter-ounce. That's $1633.53, $816.77, and $408.38.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about gold. 800-686-2237. The book is free, 800-686-2237.
Hi folks, Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside the bunker at FEMA Region 9 is your host, Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
In this brand new chat room, I really like it. Listen, we have right now, it looks like just under 300 live listeners, and I haven't been hitting my social media as hard as I normally do. So under 300 live listeners that have access to the PeteSantilliShow.com. If you go to the PeteSantilliShow.com and click on that button at the top, it's actually a tab. It says Live Show Chat. If you go to that, I will from now on, every single day, I will open that up and I will invite all listeners to join us in that chat room and interact with me live while I'm on air. And we've got a couple of people in here, but I've kept a real low profile on it just because I didn't know how it was going to go. And I like the feel of this thing. And Mr. Vanderbeek actually is still in the chat room with us, sharing information. And coincidentally, I was thinking through the break, his remarks. First of all, I'm honored to be considered a trusted person in David Vanderbeek's mind, in that you can relay information to Pete Santilli at the Pete Santilli Show. Let me tell you just a couple of quick things here. I'm a consumer advocate. I'm also a whistleblower. I don't talk too much about this. If you're a new listener, we've gone over the 20,000 daily downloads mark, and the majority of the people are telling me that they put me in their iPhones and they listen, in the car in their commute. Just keep this in mind. I do not compromise my integrity. I always go after the truth. I've led my life in the respect that I'm always going to do what's absolutely right. And as a former United States Marine, when somebody wants to tell me to back off on pursuing truth and righteousness, let me ask you this. How do you stop a United States Marine from moving forward? You don't. It doesn't happen. So, as far as the trust in me, through the prosecution of one of the largest class action lawsuits, it was over $200 million. And to this day, they're still paying out to the class members of, it was 4 total class action lawsuits, $200 million worth, from management to hourly associates. Coca-Cola stole $200,000 to $300,000 per month in overtime wages. I had access to that information. I tried to fix it internally. Anyways, long story short, I became a whistleblower. Okay, we tried to cover it up, and I did not back down. And the day that they went up on CNN national headline news about that news story, because they refused to even acknowledge that they were making errors, that's when they started coming to the table to say, hey, how can we make this stuff go away? But guess what I did, folks? This is what I did. Guess what caused them to back down? Not just the national media attention, the fact that I recorded all of the critical conversations that I had with the people that told me things like, oh, Santilli, you approached the sacred cow. You saw something we didn't want you to see. I actually went to meetings wired and recorded the calls. I actually made a couple of mistakes in how I took documentation with me, and I learned through that experience, and I now relay that to my clients and other whistleblowers. I advise them. I can advise you no matter what level you're at. If you're at the executive level, if you're in law enforcement, if you're working for the U.S. government, all right, I'm going to tell you how to be a whistleblower and how to protect yourself. I know how to do that. I'm not going to share that on the air. I'm not going to share all those details because they will counter that. I will give you really direct communication on that as to how you can best protect yourself, and just as long as you're doing the right thing, whether or not it's worth it to pursue such a thing, because it's a very stressful situation. So when Mr. Vanderbeek says bring that information to Pete Santilli, I want you know how to get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me many different ways. I'm all over the internet. There's a reason for that. I'm very, very wide out in the open. People that don't have anything to hide are very open. Now, I'm in the public sector in social media, so I put myself out there. And I really don't have very much privacy. Reach me, and I will teach you how to protect yourself. I'll teach you how to get in touch with the right people that are going to preserve the integrity of the evidence that you've come across. If you see something that's being done wrong in your country, in your government, in your police station, in your investigative unit, I want you to contact me. And if you have a concern about my credentials, I'll share those with you as well. I don't brag too much about that stuff. I've actually been sworn to secrecy as to the details of the settlement with Coca-Cola, but I will never keep my mouth shut about how evil that corporation is. And I will never keep my mouth shut about how evil our U.S. government is right now. I'm a former United States Marine who would never, ever, ever serve this government in the same capacity. I will serve as United States Marine, the U.S. Constitution, and I will honor our founding fathers, what they intended to do and what they set up for us. I inherited the U.S. Constitution, and what they intended for me to inherit was a document that protects my God-given rights. And our country was built on that prosperity. Now, unfortunately, there are evil entities. And if you do not believe me, you need to awaken. And I'm also going to be educating people on how they can come awake to a lot of these things. And as Mr. Vanderbeek so responsibly says, ask questions. Ask questions of your government officials. Demand accountability of your law enforcement, and absolutely educate our current active duty military. We must do that for our own survival. Now, I'm going to give you a preview as to what I did and why I did it. Now, this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a joke by any means, and I hope I can play this while I'm recording as well. Let me do this. Oh, here we go. I can.
Service.
Hi, how are you?
This is a call to the Secret Service. It was the first call I made.
Service.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Can I speak with one of your agents, please?
Can I ask what this is in reference to so I can better direct your call?
Yeah, this is in reference to I wanted to report and demand that the Secret Service actually investigate Barack Obama. I think it's time that you guys start doing that.
Hold on just a minute, please.
Thanks.
Protective Intelligence.
Hi, Protective Intelligence. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, good. I just asked to speak with an agent. And this is a serious call. I'm not just doing this just for the heck of it. I mean, it's gotten to the point now where I think I want to file a formal complaint to have the Secret Service investigate Barack Obama. I mean, I've personally seen factual evidence that there's questions about his legitimacy to be president of the United States. I'm just wondering if you guys ever get involved in that law enforcement type function as it relates to the potential for a communist.
We would never investigate somebody that we protect.
Well, that. Pardon me?
So if you have concerns, you should call the FBI.
The FBI, who is controlled by Eric Holder, is that correct? So basically, if Vladimir Putin,
you know what? You don't need to start shouting at me.
No, I'm not shouting. No, this is the way I talk. I'm Italian. I'm from New York. I talk loud. I apologize.
Excuse.
Here's the thing: if Vladimir Putin actually just kind of took the seat in the Oval Office, you would say, well, he's the president of the United States. We're not going to investigate his background.
So we protect him.
So you would protect Vladimir Putin, even though he's a communist occupying the White House.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's their job. We protect the office.
Yeah. So you're saying that the FBI is the only agency that has jurisdiction over such a matter?
They would, yes.
They would. Okay.
Yes.
Well, who oversees the FBI? Because I think that there's a conflict of interest there, especially since Eric Holder actually leads that department. We're just, I'm a member of a group of concerned citizens. Obviously, they're very concerned. I mean, I'm a former United States Marine. I'm very, very concerned about what's going on at the White House, and it seems like you guys are just overlooking everything. And I think
suggest that maybe you contact your local senator or congressman.
The senator or congressman who's also on the payroll as well. Who investigates them?
Okay, so you know what? This conversation's over because every answer I give you, you're not satisfied with.
No. Are you satisfied? Let me ask you this: You're a citizen of the United States.
Of course, you would want to hang up because she's a member of what she called herself Protective Intelligence, and somebody with Protective Intelligence. All right, this protection she's referring to is twofold. It applies to the Secret Service in that, they just provide protection, okay? Protection as in condoms for their agents that get caught banging hookers in Colombia. That Protective Intelligence would warrant that you wear a condom when you go out and bang those hookers. And also, Protective Intelligence as in, we don't want to create any more paperwork because we won't be able to go out and bang those hookers if we're too busy digging into the fact that, Obama is a freaking communist and he's in the White House. We don't look into his background. So, you know what? As a matter of fact, let's hush. Let's protect this guy. Let's cover this whole thing up at the highest levels of our freaking government. We have the most disgusting people that are taking our money and they're using it against us. They're taking that money and actually indirectly using it to go buy freaking hookers and to cover up the fact that the President of the United States posted his birth certificate. It was a fraudulent document. And he's under their protection. Put your condom on and don't go away.
Hi folks, Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to to The Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
You're listening to The Pete Santilli Show. One small step for man, one giant leap towards the truth.
This is a control grid to track and trace and make us second-class citizens. They're going to decide what sites you visit, and they're only going to allow a couple thousand sites. 99% of the web will be off-limits.
Yeah, protective intelligence. We provide protection. Yeah. You know what? Actually, you guys should have provided better protection for people like John F. Kennedy, who talked about the secret alliances, the secret governments that are running the joint. And John F. Kennedy, who said that he wanted to take away the power from the Federal Reserve. Actually, you should have done protection there. You should have done what you did to John Kennedy to Barack Obama. Just why don't you let your guard down and let that communist go? Let him go. Okay? But that's up to you. That's a decision for you guys to make. I don't want to encourage you to do bad things, but if you're going to do it, to do bad things, stupid things like you did back in the day of John Kennedy, you might as well let your guard down when it counts. That should pierce your mother effing heart, Ms. Protective Intelligence. We only protect the communist. Yeah, you're protecting them, all right. And if you don't like what I have to say about that, then you might not want to tune into this show. You might not. I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. I demand, whether I'm alive or dead, it doesn't matter. The demand still stands. You need to conduct an investigation on behalf of the American people who pay your mother effing wages. You need to do that. There are enough questions. Now, here's another thing that I want you to know. Is that it doesn't even stop there at that one call recording. Wait until you hear who I spoke with and what actually happened. And I have so much commentary, I don't even know if I can get through this. I'm so agitated by these freaking jamokes that are on the dole. They're taking our money and they use it against us. Now, the Secret Service, for her to make such a stupid statement, okay? And I'm putting her voice on air. Because there is no reasonable expectation of privacy, because per the Patriot Act, every single call is freaking recorded and goes through the NSA. So nobody can expect to have any privacy. So I reserve the right to use the Patriot Act against your ass, and I believe that you are committing a crime, and I want to get this information out. And I'm a consumer advocate, I'm a ball buster, I'm a whistleblower, and I'm on your ass, and guess what? You have nothing on me. I'm a law-abiding citizen, an honorable United States Marine. If all of a sudden all these bad things start happening to me, that's called retaliation. Be careful what you do, because I have a pretty decent life of honorable service to my country, success, all of those good things. So don't paint a picture of my life that all of a sudden, after I call the Secret Service and call you guys out for freaking banging hookers in Colombia at the expense of the taxpayer, that all of a sudden Pete Santilli is in a bunker and he needed to be taken down by a SWAT team. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take this recording and I want you to share it with everybody. Share it, because they're going to try to come and delete my account, and YouTube account's going to be mysteriously deleted because it'll get so many hits. And then the minute that this thing starts going out, then all of a sudden my life will start unraveling. They'll shut my accounts down, seize my recordings. They'll take me to court and say, you recorded the conversation and put it on air for profit. Guess what? I'm a freaking nonprofit. I'm a ball buster pit bull. I'm going to come after you guys. And guess what? If you want to arrest me, I only want two people to arrest me. Sheriff Arpaio and Sheriff Mack. That's it. If I've committed a crime, I will willingly stick my hands out, they will handcuff me, and I will serve my penalty to society. But only if those two gentlemen determine that they need to arrest me. If there's just cause, I'll let them arrest me. So if you want Pete Santilli, you go to Sheriff Mack or Sheriff Arpaio. How about that? You don't need to send a SWAT team. I'll go willingly, voluntarily, peacefully, lawfully. But guess what? I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hands to still come after your ass from a 4x4 jail cell, you freaking communist Fs.
Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, July 20th, 2012. Gold opened this morning at $1578.90. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1618.64, $809.32 for a half ounce, or $404.66 for a quarter ounce. That's $1618.64, $809.32, and $404.66.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about gold. 800-686-2237. The book is free, 800-686-2237.
The Pete Santilli Show, telling you the truth whether you like it or not.
About to incite a riot. Make some noise, break up the silence. Scream and shout, no being quiet. Spread the facts until you buy it. Come to my den, I got toys for torture. We drink the blood fresh just to stay immortals. We bring a thug.
All right, now that I'm settled down, let's proceed on. The first call here, okay? The first call was to the Secret Service. I want an investigation. I specifically intended I want to help supplement the efforts of Sheriff Arpaio. He's going to be tied up. You know how they go after Sheriff Arpaio. They're going to drag his butt into court, and they're going to say, Sheriff Arpaio, he is brought before this court, and we're going to prove that the majority of the people that he pulls over are Mexican. Well, no poop, ding-a-ling. That's because the majority of the people that are in Arizona are Mexican. Of course. That's like bringing the police chief for Inglewood PD in a lawsuit and bringing him to court saying that the majority of the people he arrests are African American. Well, of course. The helicopters that fly over that neighborhood, only African Americans have the guts to live there. The white guys get shot. Swear to you. Go drive through. As a matter of fact, ask Reginald Denny. He drove through Florence and Normandy. Look what happened to him. And white people haven't shown up since. Okay? That's exactly what happens. My point is, it's not a racial issue. All right? If white people want to die, they go to South Central LA. All right? That's exactly what happens. Now, you can't say to the police chief there, well, the majority of the people that you're pulling over are African American. Yeah, demographics. How about that? South Central LA, Inglewood PD, they deal with African-American criminals because there are African-Americans within a 50-mile radius. And that's it. All right. Jeez, man. So, Sheriff Arpaio, I want to help supplement his efforts on my own. Am I any more qualified than anyone else? You know what? I'm a citizen. I pay taxes to these people, and they're not doing anything. All they can do is they can actually take their crony media people like Morgan Lowe and send him there and ask Sheriff Arpaio, well, how many child molestation cases have you not prosecuted or pursued or investigated? At the Barack Obama fraud investigation, the largest cover-up in our nation's history. So I understood where that was going. So as a citizen journalist and a taxpayer and a former United States Marine, I want accountability. And you should expect that as well. Now, I picked up the phone because she said, call the FBI, right? Now, listen, I want you to hear this. When I picked up the phone and I called, I'm going to skip through this.
This call is now being
Let me skip through this.
On to Cleveland unknown guarding.
Here it is. Now listen, they have plenty of time. Listen to this. The reason why I'm playing this is they have time for investigations, obviously. Okay? Listen to the type of investigations they're involved in.
This call may be recorded or monitored for quality assurance.
See, may be recorded or monitored. Well, that gave me permission, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. She said that I may record it or monitor it for quality assurance purposes. It may be. Thank you very much for giving me permission.
Purposes. If you have information to assist with the Cleveland unknown rapist case, press 1.
A Cleveland rapist case, press 1. They have a whole freaking team. They have SWAT team members. They got freaking helicopters, light sirens, all brand new radios, and freaking satellite dishes on all of the FBI agents' heads.
If you have information to assist with the Morgan Harrington homicide
investigation. They have freaking command posts. They got buffed vehicles. They have freaking SUVs, bulletproof. They got freaking MAC-10s. They got freaking ammunition. They ordered 450 bazillion rounds just to go after this guy.
Investigation, press 2. If you have information regarding the whereabouts of Aubrey Lee Price, press...
That's right. See, the thing is, these guys obviously have the time, the resources, and they want it publicized that they're working on behalf of the American public for issues pertaining to stuff like on milk cartons. They will actually take taxpayer money and they will spend trillions of dollars to pursue rapists. That, not to minimize the importance of doing that, but you're the FBI, you're the federal government, right? Now, they have a bunch of free time on their hands, correct? I've already established that. So I picked up the phone and I called the FBI.
This call is now being recorded.
I have permission, right? She said I may record
Hello? Hi, do you have an on-duty agent that I could speak with?
No, sir. This is the administrative office here. I can refer you to your local field office. There's someone there that can speak to you.
Well, it's actually a jurisdictional issue. It's in regards to a matter in Washington, D.C.
The volume is low, but you can hear.
Where's the crime taking place?
Well, the crime has taken place in the White House. President Barack Obama, he needs to be investigated. I think the person that's in charge of his investigation. Hello?
See, it didn't even matter that the volume was low, okay? She hung up on me. In my opinion, I believe...
It has to be a written complaint.
I believe that that she was an African-American woman.
Plain?
Based on what she was having for lunch while she was on the phone.
It has to be a written complaint.
It has to be a written complaint? Okay, so the matter regarding her hanging up on me was just strictly verbal, and I must respond to it in writing. Is that correct? I was calling to report a crime. She hung up on me, and you're telling me I need to go through a bureaucratic process of filling out paperwork. Is that correct? Does that sound right to you? You don't have a supervisor that's in charge there?
Do not, sir.
You don't?
No, sir.
Okay. You guys are just on autopilot.
No, sir. Again, there's unfortunately, it's not structured the way you think it should be or want it to be.
Well, no, actually, I could structure it much more efficiently. You should have supervisors on staff to handle matters, especially when I get hung up on. I mean, it's not just upsetting. I mean, it's a very efficient. I mean, as a matter of fact, I could help you out and help you organize the flow of information. I'd like to at least make a recommendation that you at least have supervision and accountability for the people that hang up on individuals that want to call and report crimes. Don't you agree that that should be the procedure? Are you there? Mm-hmm. And you hung up on me as well.
Aha! I wanted you to hear that portion of it. He hung up on me as well. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you could sit there and think, well, Pete, you're harassing people. Harassing, huh? To enforce the law? Is that what I'm harassing? Is that what you're saying? No, I'm not harassing. I want to file a former complaint. I want to have, this is what's wrong with this country, folks. This collectivist, kumbaya, everybody get together. Let's just have the system be a big, huge ball that just rolls with nobody in charge of rolling it. There's no accountability. There's accountability on the good side. Pete Santilli is out in the open He gives his name out. I have nothing to hide. You can come get me. I'm a law-abiding citizen. All I'm asking is that we enforce the law. These people won't even give out operator numbers, okay? Because they said for security reasons, we can't give you our names. Really? Security? You guys need that much security? People hate you that much to where you got to protect yourself like that? Maybe you should start doing the right thing, and you won't have to worry about it. If you treat people right, they won't want to come and kill you. Right? I'm still here. My whole life. I've never had somebody try to come and kill me. Why? Because they know that I'm the type of person that they want right beside them in the trenches, like right now. I'm in the trenches with you, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the final call, and then I'll provide more commentary. I'm going to tell you what we must do. And we might get interrupted here momentarily. This is via Skype calling in because they blocked my line. Guess what? Don't go away. I knew that break was coming up. I thought I'd be able to squeeze in some stuff. Do not go away. When you hear this final call, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to know why. I am on their so-called list. I'm on their list of numbers that they have blocked. They're hiding something. They don't want me to hold them accountable. But guess what? That's not going to stop me. I'm going to send certified letters. I'm going to send registered letters. I want to have an agent in charge investigating Barack Obama on behalf of the American people. That way we don't have to worry about the so-called credibility of Sheriff Arpaio or the credibility of these volunteer investigators.
Get your credit repaired today at greatcreditnow.com. We'll help remove bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and late payments from your credit reports.
Great Credit Now was phenomenal. I was able to reestablish my credit. I even bought a brand new car. Thanks, Great Credit Now.
Great Credit Now helps some of our customers lower their interest rates and save money.
Save time and save money and get approved for the new car or home you want without crazy interest rates or high payments. Call now for your free credit consultation, 800-258-0653.
As a watch collector for many years, I can tell you the difference in price and value between a Swiss or a Japanese movement timepiece. And I can also tell you without any hesitation that World of Watches has the biggest selection, and for a limited time, the listeners of the Pete Santilli Show can take advantage of the lowest prices, the biggest discounts, and the largest selection of watches available anywhere on the internet. This exclusive promotion is called the Time Bomb, and time's ticking. So visit thePeteSantilliShow.com/Time Bomb before time runs out.
The most important question to be asked in our lifetime is answered in the book, Where's the Birth Certificate? A case that Barack Obama is not eligible to be the president, written by Jerome Corsi. Where's the Birth Certificate is a recommended read by Peter Santilli, host of The Pete Santilli Show, and is sold on Amazon.com. To purchase your copy of Where's the Birth Certificate, go to thePeteSantilliShow.com, click on the tab at the top that says Where's the Birth Certificate, and order your copy today or download it to your Kindle. Where's the Birth Certificate by Jerome Corsi is essential to the Infowar and a question we should all be asking. If you've been asking yourself where's the birth certificate and what will it mean if Barack Obama is not eligible to be president, go to thePeteSantilliShow.com, click on the Where's the Birth Certificate tab at the top of the page, and order your copy from Amazon.com today. One great thing about having Barnes & Noble as a sponsor of the Pete Santilli Show is that we love Barnes & Noble. If you visit thePeteSantilliShow.com, you'll see several ads displaying the new Nook color for the very special price of $169. If you've noticed the latest craze in ebooks, everyone's carrying their favorite brand and immersed in the internet's newest revolutionary technology, the tablet e-reader. The Pete Santilli Show is proud to offer our listeners the new Nook, and we're also excited to offer what some are calling the best in the tablet world. What's more is that the new Nook Simple Touch Glow Light, Nook Color, and Nook Tablet range in the price of $199 to as little as $99. The Nook Tablet Reader from BarnesandNoble.com. Portable and definitely affordable. Visit thePeteSantilliShow.com today and click on any of the Barnes & Noble ads to find the Nook that's right for you.
Hi, folks. Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside the bunker at FEMA Region 9 is your host, Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, you know they're gonna be having me on a list, all right. And it's a list. Wait till you hear what kind of list they're gonna have me on. They have me on a list. They basically disconnected their telephone lines. They think that, and I'm not going to disrespect the process either. I didn't intend for this to be a joking matter. I was very serious about it. If it was comical, their response is comical. If you're laughing about all this, it's their response to this whole thing. All right, let's see where we're at. This is a Skype call.
FBI Washington Field Office.
Hi, how are you? I was experiencing problems earlier getting through. I was speaking with the gentleman. I don't know if you have an agent on duty right now. I'd like to speak with the agent that's in charge of an investigation.
What investigation, sir?
Well, hopefully the investigation into the matter regarding President Barack Obama, his birth certificate issue, and the evidence that was recently presented detailing the fraudulent birth certificate being posted on whitehouse.gov.
The FBI doesn't have a case.
Okay, well, is there any way that I can open up a case? I'd like to have the matter looked into.
No, sir.
You don't have a case investigating the matter? How come?
No.
A crime has been committed, and there are
Sir,
questions relating to the
That's not a matter
president.
the FBI will be investigating at this time.
Well, actually, I was referred to you by the Secret Service. I contacted the Secret Service. They referred me to you. Why would you not investigate such a thing? And what is your name?
We don't give out our names for security reasons, sir.
Okay, do you have of course not. An agent number or some sort of a reference?
753.
Okay, agent number 753. Are you an agent with the FBI?
No.
Okay. You're just that's just an operator number. Could I speak with an agent? Because I'd like to have the matter looked into. I think it's something that you guys should definitely look into, especially since a crime has been committed.
No, sir, not today.
Why not today? This is a matter. I'm a citizen. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm a former United States Marine, and I'd like to file a complaint to have the matter looked into right away. There's evidence that shows that fraud has been committed, and it's relating to the President of the United States' birth certificate. I'd like that matter looked into. Who do I talk to?
Hold on.
Yeah, this is a serious request. I'm not joking. Okay, here we are. There's a big break. I'm sitting here. I was disconnected, ladies and gentlemen. Let me skip through this real quick because of the essence of time. But I have the... Okay, when I call, she answered, and it disconnected. Miraculously. Disconnected. Reconnected. Oh, it's ringing. Wow. Disconnected again. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with my Skype line?
FBI.
Hi, I just called and spoke with the operator. Okay. Miraculously disconnected. This is Skype dialing out again. Disconnected again. Wow, 3 or 4 calls I keep getting disconnected on Skype. Very interesting. And that's my voice talking on the recording. Disconnected again. Ladies and gentlemen, I went so far, okay, and just to let you know, I'm going to speed up probably 10, 12 different times, okay? And then I wanted to check to make sure that my line was working okay. So I verified this. I have the recording, and I call myself to verify.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to reach.
Santilli and Associates.
Hey, this is Peter Santilli. I see our telephone lines are working just fine, except to the FBI. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the point is, here's my point, okay? This is why I need you to do this. Now, I discussed earlier, I'm a whistleblower. I know how to protect information. This is what I want to do, all right? But first, before I tell you this, I want to tell you the following. Why is Pete Santilli doing this? Because he wants to make a big radio show? No. The seriousness of what I just did was spot on. It is the most serious thing we have going. When I joined the United States Marine Corps, I didn't say, well, I will only take care of, small enemies, not tall ones. I will only take care of white enemies, not African-American ones. I will take care of only foreign enemies, not domestic ones. No. I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. And I have always had that oath in me. And I've also had an obligation to serve my country when I see something is being done wrong. And I also see that everybody is scared in their pants to do anything. Why? Because they're beholden to somebody. They're beholden to a corporation. You know, for you to make a telephone call like that, you know, your family looks at you like, oh, are you crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I'm doing the right thing. Okay? If 350 million people stood there and said, wow, man, you got guts calling the Secret Service, I'd say, what do you mean guts? Courage to call the Secret Service. Why? Because of what could potentially happen by them retaliating against me? Guess what? I don't fear that. If you're listening, Secret Service or FBI, you need to stop doing what you're doing. You need to take your condom off and stay away from Colombian hookers. And if you don't like me saying that, then don't go out and bang Colombian hookers. And you'll avoid me saying that. Okay? Do the right thing. You won't have to worry about being held accountable. I am beholden to nobody. I don't break the law. I'm financially independent. I work for myself. I don't need to worry about what my boss is going to say about me calling the Secret Service. Okay? I have family members that know exactly what I do when I see Coca-Cola stealing $200,000-$300,000 a month from people. I do the right thing. Okay? Even when I'm making $140,000, $150,000 a year, I do the right thing and I leave that company. Unfortunately, it wasn't on the best of terms either. I always do the right thing. And if you don't think that that's a good thing, or I'm not following along with the program, or, geez, I'll never become rich because I don't go along with the scam, you're absolutely right. I'm not going to be rich because that requires screwing people for a living. I have plenty of those opportunities. I know how it's done. I've chosen not to do it. Okay? I'll stay down here, down at the bottom of the totem pole, and I will look up to people like Sheriff Mack, and I'll look up to Sheriff Arpaio and Mike Zullo, and those people who have unwavering integrity. Now, I called the FBI. They hung up on me. I'm on a list. That list better be a good list. You better have me listed as a United States Marine that will kick your ass if you're doing the wrong thing. If you're not upholding the law, doing things lawfully, if you're not upholding your oath to the Constitution, if you refuse to investigate the President of the United States because he's a potential communist in the White House? And that's true. If you refuse to do all of those things, you better put me on a list of United States Marines that'll kick your ass. Put down at the top of that list, shake in my boots over these people. Because guess what, folks? It's not just me. It's not just the Marines. I believe that what I did, I have 350 million people that don't have to do that same thing, but they stand right behind me and beside me. That's what I represent. It's not $1 trillion. It's not $1 billion. It's not screwing people for a living. It's doing the right thing and feeling good about it. And if you want to come take me out with a SWAT team and make the wrong move like that, just remember this one thing. All you need to do is, if you believe that I broke the law, call Sheriff Mack, call Sheriff Arpaio, or Mike Zullo. I will let them arrest me if they believe that I've committed a crime I need to be arrested for. F you!
Hi folks, Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
Get your credit repaired today at GreatCreditNow.com. We'll help remove bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and late payments from your credit reports.
Great Credit Now was phenomenal. I was able to reestablish my credit. I even bought a brand new car. Thanks, Great Credit Now.
Great Credit Now helps some of our customers lower their interest rates and save money.
Save time and save money, and get approved for the new car or home you want without crazy interest rates or high payments. Call now for your free credit consultation, 800-258-0653.
Pittman & Davis is a family-owned company that's been in business for over 80 years, specializing in delivery of fresh fruit, smoked meats, cheeses, pastries, and other scrumptious gift food items.
What's more, Pittman & Davis gift food selections are meticulously prepared to ensure the finest quality possible and made in small batches to be shipped fresh daily.
Pittman & Davis, fresh fruits and gifts since 1926. Visit thepetesantillishow.com/gift right now to see their selections.
Jim Newcomer from Minus Resources, July 20th, 2012. Gold opened this morning at $1578.90. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1618.64, $809.32 for a half ounce, or $404.66 for a quarter ounce. That's $1618.64, $809.32, and $404.66.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about...
Live from the Overthrow Bunker and FEMA Region 9, you're listening to The Pete Santilli Show.
You see, this is what they do with your money, okay? This is what they do with your money, and this is why I want you to hide your money. Make cash, earn cash, negotiate, pay, do everything you can to keep it away from those bastards, okay? Why? Because they take that money, and yes, we need Secret Service. We need to protect the President of the United States. You know, that's what they do. See, we have 9/11, and they say, let's spend $1 trillion to go ahead and prevent 9/11. Okay, great. Then you start figuring it out. You're like, oh, that's why you did 9/11, because you got $1 trillion out of it. Right? Well, maybe somebody at the Secret Service said, hey, just let, you know what, just, why don't you go ahead and stand back away from that car real quick so we can let this Lee Harvey Oswald patsy guy just nail one right in the back of freaking Kennedy's head because he said that he wants to change the U.S. currency and expose the secret societies. Why don't you go ahead and do that, and then and then we'll get like $1 trillion for better security. We can increase our budget if we can show that maybe we were understaffed or we didn't have the right equipment. That's how you guys freaking roll, okay? And if you don't like me saying that, then get your freaking act together, all right? Don't hang up on me when I ask for an investigation. Do the right thing, okay? Don't hang up on me. If you don't like what I have to say, then do the right thing, take my call, and let's do an investigation, and let's pull that mother effer out of the seat, and let's throw him in jail. Let's throw him in jail, okay? If you think you have a problem with me and you want to send your Gestapo SWAT team to come get me, okay? I see here you're fully prepared to deal with the American people. You have a whole system set up so that they just throw money at you. What do you do with that money? You put together documents like civil disturbance operations, headquarters, Department of the Army, April 2005. This is what we're going to do. We're going to prepare this document to spend millions of dollars on how to combat riots and control force operations and crowd dispersal CS gas, what to do with, multi-lines of defense, how we're going to protect the guy when he reloads, okay? Reloads with the less than lethal gun that's firing off tear gas. They have procedures step by step, layer by layer, as to how they will kill your ass. If you touch a guy right now that's out in the middle of a riot who's reloading his tear gas, it says here in this document that there's another guy right behind him that's authorized to use lethal force and shoot you and kill you. And it's in the documentation here. And they say, general causes for civil unrest. In these modern times, demonstrations, civil unrest, public disorder, and riots happen for a number of reasons. Well, no kidding, okay? A number of them having to do with how you conduct yourself. How about this? How about if I give you a great idea? Instead of restructuring the FBI's central headquarters on how to handle complaints and how to make sure that a racially sensitive issue like an African-American woman hanging up on the white guy that's calling in to file a complaint against the President of the United States, thank goodness I kept my calm and I didn't start a riot. Instead of worrying about what causes civil unrest and combating it with lethal force, how about this? How about if you arrest all the banksters? How about if you do that immediately? The ones that have stolen a freaking trillions of dollars. Do you think that we could potentially avoid civil unrest if you actually stop them from stealing and throw them in jail? That's a novel idea. How about if you invest your efforts in doing that? How about you stop arresting the crack dude in South Central Los Angeles and you go out and you investigate the heroin dealer in the White House? The guy that's involved with CIA and, those pallets of, opium that are coming out of. And by the way, you think I'm making this up? I have spoken to counter-narcotics Marines, lieutenants, captains, under the influence of alcohol, sober, about how our government traffics through the help and direction of the CIA drugs out of Afghanistan, led by the President of the United States. Your military personnel, some of them have access to it. How about if you stop that from happening? How about if you shut down the CIA and you stop the drugs from coming into the United States through their efforts? That may cause people to remain sane. Maybe they'll actually stop doing drugs and end up wanting to go to work if you cut off their supply. What if they don't have any more drugs? They'll go through some withdrawals. Next thing you know, they're hungry and they need to go to work. Coercion dispersal, emergency dispersal. Let's see, crowd dynamics. Understanding crowds and how individuals and groups form crowds through the gathering process is important because these issues apply to dynamics of the crowd. Really, somebody wrote this freaking crap. Under most circumstances, gathered crowds are orderly and present little or no problems to authorities. Being part of a crowd of people has certain effects on different people. Each individual in a crowd, you know what? These freaking buffoons. I'm going to post a copy of this document so you can gain an understanding of the dynamics of the crowds that they later on talk about how they're going to, and we're talking about U.S. forces, how they're going to quell riots and shoot dissidents. It's in this document. Flanking actions, Molotov cocktails, smoke grenades, rocks, slingshots, weapons, verbal abuse they have listed as a weapon, barricades, thrown objects, vehicles, firearms, how to handle every possible contingency. You think they would write? Now, where is the one document that says how they're going to investigate and incarcerate banksters? Where is that one document? Oh, no, what they do instead is they say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to intern all of these dissidents. We're going to corral them into concentration camps. So they invest money in internment and resettlement camps. Why are they so focused on gun control? So they launch a false flag Batman attack. And if you don't think that was a false flag, you're a little bit behind the times here. Okay? You got to catch up to us. What I want you to do, I don't want you to be berated by my comment. I want you to be educated, not berated. Be educated. Ask questions. Look at the evidence. Put two and two together. You'll discover that the hidden agenda is possibly being pressed by a communist in the White House. Put everything together. If you assemble the following facts in your head, these are facts. The President of the United States, we don't know where he was born. He will not show proof. He submitted as proof of his birth a fraudulent document. He is known to be mingling with socialists. He is known to have been bred by communists. He is known to be a Manchurian candidate by the Chicago Mafia. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen. It is known that his mother worked for the CIA. It is known that Frank, the communist dude in the pictures that were blurted out, were in the pictures of him at the airport, and they were superimposed in a bad Photoshop job with his mother. They don't want you to know that. So it is known that there's a lot of questions as to whether or not Barack Obama is a communist. That's the truth, and it's a fact. And if you don't like that, then don't look at any of it, because it'll be very disturbing. I'm disturbed by it all. It is also a fact that they want to go to the UN right now. And President Barack Obama is scheduled to sign on the 27th of July a UN arms control treaty that will flat out, there's nothing they can say to tell you otherwise. I will read you the text if you want me to. It is vague, ambiguous. They want to disarm Americans or give them the legal rights to be able to do that by signing away our sovereignty to the UN. And that's going to happen on July 27th. Then you factor in a tragic scene where a poor, unemployed guy runs in with $25,000 in equipment, blows away a bunch of people. Nobody can identify him because he has a mask. Don't go away. We'll talk about it more.
Get your credit repaired today at greatcreditnow.com. We'll help remove bankruptcies, judgments, foreclosures, and late payments from your credit reports.
Great Credit Now was phenomenal. I was able to reestablish my credit. I even bought a brand new car. Thanks, Great Credit Now.
Great Credit Now helps some of our customers lower their interest rates and save money.
Save time and save money and get approved for the new car or home you want without crazy interest rates or high payments. Call now for your free credit consultation. 800-258-0653.
Pittman & Davis is a family-owned company that's been in business for over 80 years, specializing in delivery of fresh fruit, smoked meats, cheeses, pastries, and other scrumptious gift food items.
What's more, Pittman & Davis gift food selections are meticulously prepared to ensure the finest quality possible and made in small batches to be shipped fresh daily.
Pittman & Davis, fresh fruits and gifts since 1926. Visit the PeteSantilliShow.com/gift right now to see their selections.
One great thing about having Barnes & Noble as a sponsor of the Pete Santilli Show is that we love Barnes & Noble. If you visit thePeteSantilliShow.com, you'll see several ads displaying the new Nook color for the very special price of $169. If you've noticed the latest craze in ebooks, everyone's carrying their favorite brand and immersed in the internet's newest revolutionary technology, the tablet e-reader. The Pete Santilli Show is proud to offer our listeners the new Nook, and we're also excited to offer what some are calling the best in the tablet world. What's more is that the new Nook Simple Touch Glow Light, Nook Color, and Nook Tablet range in the price of $199 to as little as $99. The Nook Tablet Reader from BarnesandNoble.com. Portable and definitely affordable. Visit thePeteSantilliShow.com today and click on any of the Barnes & Noble ads to find the Nook that's right for you.
Jim Newcomer from Midas Resources, July 20th, 2012. Gold opened this morning at $1578.90. A 1-ounce gold coin can be purchased for $1618.64, $809.32 for a half ounce, or $404.66 for a quarter ounce. That's $1618.64, $809.32, and $404.66.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? Wait a sec. Gold and silver is going up while Congress is trying to settle on the next debt increase. And there's no end to this madness. That old 401k and IRA can be converted into physical gold without tax consequences. I explained this in my book, 10 Reasons to Buy Gold. Don't let time slip away. Call for your free copy today, 800-686-2237. Get away from that Washington spin and get honest answers about gold. 800-686-2237. The book is free, 800-686-2237.
Hi, folks. Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside the bunker at FEMA Region 9 is your host, Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
I came back a little bit late. I'm chatting with a jarhead in the chat room at the live show chat. Hey, welcome to the Pete Santilli Show, dude. This is what it's about, okay? And you know what I'm talking about when I say, I'm a United States Marine, and I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you heard it earlier in the show, but how do you stop a Marine from freaking taking that hill? You don't. You don't. So if anybody wants to stop me from pursuing my goal to hold our law enforcement at the highest levels, okay? Because and if you hear it, I'm coming from this perspective. I trust and respect honorable law enforcement, like Sheriff Mack, like Sheriff Arpaio, like Mike Zullo. I know who the good guys are, and those are the only names that I'm going to mention because those are the ones that are out in the public. But I know who the good guys are. And guess what? We all know who the bad guys are. The jarheads that are awakened, that know what's going on, and they read documents like internment and resettlement operations documents, and they know what posse comitatus is, and they know what the U.S. Constitution is, and they know that Obama is a mother effing communist, we know how to take care of communism in our country, okay? We know how to take care of it. And you better have me on a list of those people that if you refuse to do your job in the Secret Service, to investigate the background of the people you protect, to make sure that, even the living quarters of the President of the United States, you should have a procedure that says, we are not to allow communists in. We should at least make sure we check his birth certificate to make sure he wasn't born in a freaking Islamic country, trained as a suicide bomber, for all we know. Who freaking knows? The war on terror, you're so focused. It's kind of like, they say never bend down to pick up a penny because a freaking dollar bill may fly over your head. You're so focused on looking down at the penny down on the ground, and you got the big money flying over your head. Yeah, I was in Subic Bay, QB Point. I was all over the Philippines, dude. I was in the Philippines. Absolutely. I'm talking to a Marine who's in the chat room, and that's what it's all about. You know what? The reason why I'm interrupting my flow here and talking to the Marine is because that's who I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to those Marines, and I'm also trying to relay to the people that are going to investigate me. They're going to come in with I could just picture them. You make a stupid move and come busting down my freaking door. You make a dumb move like that, you're going to look like a bunch of idiots. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, I have a few minutes left. Here's what I need to do. I didn't even get to the news. I will get to the news. I have important guests coming on. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Kokesh, one of my favorite Marines, is coming on the show. And we're going to talk to him. Hopefully, he'll get a chance to listen to this episode. He's a pretty busy guy. He's a badass mofo. That is one Marine that will have a say-so in this matter. And we're going to have that discussion tomorrow. And you do want to tune into the live show, and I want you to go to thepetesantillishow.com. Make sure that you get in the live chat so that you can direct your questions to Adam Kokesh. Don't miss that show tomorrow. And we'll also cover news tomorrow. This is what I need you to do, though. These goons, and remember this, if you want to do a background investigation, seriously, I'll give you my freaking social security number and show you I have over an 800 FICO score. What does that mean? People are like, 800, does it go that high? I had somebody ask me that one time. I thought it only goes to 720. No, it goes up to like 850, 840 or something like that. I think I have an 810 right now, which means, you know what that means? That's called gold balls credit. That means I do the honorable thing. I do. I pay my bills, and I don't have any debt. So they want to say, oh, you have great credit. Why don't you go ahead and get some debt? No, F you. I don't need your debt. But I've paid off my debt before, so that's why I have a great credit score. I've never been late on a bill. I've sped before. I've driven almost recklessly sometimes and didn't get caught. I have a perfectly clean record. I've lived an honest life. I've paid my taxes. I've built businesses. I was a conservative Republican. I've done all the right things as an individual in society very responsibly. And then we come to this pivotal moment in our nation's history. And as soon as I start picking up the phone, calling the FBI and the CIA, asking them to do their job and to enforce the law, all of a sudden, Pete Santilli has the Gestapo busting through his front door. I want you to take this episode and put it away. And I want you to play it over and over again. Why do I want you to take this episode? Because they can delete all of my stuff. They can shut me up. They can put a bullet in my face. I will never win that battle. Will I defend myself? Absolutely. Do me a favor. If you're with the Goombas over there, with the bad guys, and you're one of the first 3 people to come through the door, I would say I got maybe 3 breaths left to make sure that the 3 people that come through the door, I don't care what you got, you better be in a freaking a Janet Reno, what do you call it? One of those big tanks where they poked into the building. You better be in one of those. You better be in a tank, because I'm going to make sure that I defend my property, my liberty, my God-given rights, all of those good things, because there's no reason for you to come get me. As a matter of fact, if anybody believes that I've committed a crime, I've broken the law, I will surrender peacefully immediately. Pick up the phone, call me, 760-684-8038. Call me. And you tell me, Peter, we believe that you've committed a crime. We want you to turn yourself in. And I will go turn myself in to Sheriff Arpaio. And then what I will do is I will ask Sheriff Arpaio to give me a nice, secure jail cell. And I'll have him watch over me. Because as a criminal, I would want that guy taking care of business. Because it's not going to be any funny business. He's not going to be letting people get in there to try to kill me. Listen to this. You think our government has the capabilities to do such a thing? Do you think they do? Do you think that your government would actually kill people secretly? What if all of a sudden I wiped off the face of the planet from a heart attack? Okay? I'm healthy. I don't have any heart problems. Okay? I'm very, very physically fit. Kinda. Well, lately I haven't been. But I'm physically fit. Listen to what they do.
Then I went to technical services where I was in charge of finding documents that you don't find in libraries, like where you put explosives on a bridge. Where's the best place to put an explosive on a bridge? And what kind of explosive do you have to get that goes under?
This is a whistleblower. This is what whistleblowers do. They put stuff out, okay? She's a CIA whistleblower.
Water without destroying its effectiveness. Also, I had to find, one time they wanted me to find out if there was such a thing as a poison that was undetectable, especially one that seemed to mimic a heart attack, that would kill someone, but it would appear that they had a heart attack. I did find such a thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear are the words in a testimony before Congress. I'm not making this up, okay? These words you're about to hear are from testimony in Congress.
Does this pistol fire the dart?
Yes, it does, Mr. Chairman. And a special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
The poison was frozen into some sort of dart, and then it was shot at very high speed into the person. So when it reached the person, it would melt inside them, and the only thing would be like one little tiny red dot on their body, which was hard to detect. There wouldn't be a needle left or anything like that in the person.
But also the toxin itself would not appear in the autopsy?
Yes, so that there was no way of perceiving that the target was him.
I think the first time that I seriously questioned anything that was more than I just couldn't take it anymore was when I came across this document. It was eyes only, and it was to my boss, but he only had one hand and a hook in the other hand, so I always opened all of his mail and his packages and so forth. And this one, he wasn't in the office. I opened it and I read it. It said eyes only. I wanted to read it because I wasn't supposed to, probably. And it was a report about a mission where they had blown up a bridge in Asia somewhere, and they had killed a number of women and children who were on their way to market that morning. It was reported as though they were really proud, mission accomplished. That one bothered me a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, okay? I want you to remember that Andrew Breitbart died of a heart attack suddenly, 38 minutes after he said he was going to release information about Barack Obama. All right? I want to pursue an investigation into Barack Obama. I want to back Sheriff Arpaio. I want to call the Secret Service. I want to hold these people accountable. I want an investigation. Okay? If they want to come after me and I all of a sudden drop dead from choking on a freaking on a pot sticker, that shouldn't stop you from pursuing, calling your government and demanding accountability. That should not stop you. I'm going to post the telephone numbers for the Secret Service, the FBI. Join me. If you wish, join me. Call them. Demand accountability. Don't be afraid. Stand beside me. We're going to take this joint back, even if we have to by force. We can do it peacefully, but it's all up to them. Good night.
Hi folks, Pete Santilli here. As a prominent social media personality on Facebook and Twitter since they were first launched, I participated in one-dimensional discussions with literally hundreds of thousands of followers. When I first set up my SecondLife.com account about a year ago, I entered a whole new magical world that brought my social media activity to life. Second Life is much more than just a 3D game or a social media platform. It'll bring your online persona to life in one of the most beautiful virtual reality simulators on the internet. It's free, and besides, it's the best way to listen to the Pete Santilli Show. You can interact with me live as I broadcast daily from the Overthrow Bunker studio. To get your free account, go to any one of our episodes and click on the Second Life banner. Once you're in, we'll give you the grand tour of our newly built Camp FEMA, the very first educational tool of its kind anywhere in the world. For a limited time, if you sign up for a new SecondLife.com account, we'll give you a priceless welcome package. SecondLife.com. Join now, tune in, and connect with your friends at The Pete Santilli Show.
You're listening to The Pete Santilli Show. One small step for man, one giant leap towards the truth.